Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split. Filmed in glorious GridVision, my name is Joe Locastro. Here in the booth with me is Sheldon Atkins, and in the box, Taylor Burris, pushing all the buttons. Sheldon, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about you?
You know, I'm fired up. I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is my first time sitting down with this series here, and it's a great one to sit down with on a Friday night to spend with good friends talking some racing. I've seen one race here earlier this week, which was a series on Wednesday night, so I'm a little familiar with what might happen here on the track, but I am excited to see the Cup cars going around. How about yourself?
Yeah, you're definitely picked a good week to show up. This is a really good place for these guys to showcase their talent. Not a lot of these, mile and a half cookie cutter ovals have a lot of opportunity for the driver to really shine, but this place with the lower banking, the tighter radius corners, it comes down to a lot of off throttle time and a lot of patience and just a lot of skill muscling these things out, especially out of turn 2 where it gets real loose. So you're going to be in for a good show.
In for a good show. That's exactly right. And we have got some picks for you. No, some keys for the race. Let's actually start with the keys for the race. Picks later. Keys for the race first. You've got 3 keys for us there, Sheldon?
Yeah, something like that. Kind of the normal. As is always important with this Cup car, though, clean air is going to be huge. If you can get a little bit of clean air ducked to the nose, we saw it a lot Monday night. Guys in second place, tapering off, going a little bit lower into the corner to get a little bit of air in that front splitter. Because if you're in that dirty, you're stuck. There's a pocket, and it's going to push you back. You're going to have trouble turning. So clean air is going to be a massive key as usual. As well, with this being a concrete facility, fairly abrasive surface. Not the worst we see, but tire management is going to be key. It's really easy to get in here and rifle it off into the corner a little too deep, burn off that right front, and once you do that, you're going up about 3 or 4 lanes up to the wall. Then, above all else, you've got to be cutthroat here. We saw it Monday night. Everybody was packed together. It was basically a 5, 6 to 10 car log jam up here at the front. You've got to send it. You've got to be on it. You've got to find a way to get by other cars to get that important track position so you can get that clean air and have a chance to win this bad boy.
All right. Well, the possibility of fresh rivalries being made and old ones being submitted looks like it's going to happen on this concrete track tonight. So let's jump right into the picks. It looks like the grid's forming here. Actually, let's go around the starting grid first. So, first things first. On the inside, number 1, Joshua Watson. Second place, Jacob Schneider. Third, Tommy Gossett. Fourth, Sean M. Conklin. 5, Paul Brigoli. 6, Kevin King. 7, Nicholas Vroman. 8, Garrett Maines. 9, Clayton Hoffman. And 10, Miller Bonds.
11th place, you're going to have Rob Carroll in 31 machine, followed by J.R. Barbarema in 12th position. 13th place, we're going to have Pedro Oliveira with Shane Paris in 14th. 15th place, we're going to have Nathan Biggert with 16th place is going to be Jackson Anderson. 17th, we're going to have Chris Wilhite. 18th, we're going to have Nolan Hodgson. Sorry, took me a moment to get that. And 19th, we're going to have Sean Kohlmeyer with Jose Acosta rounding out the top 20. Back to you there, boss.
You got it. 21st, John Schwartz. 22nd, Thomas O'Hara. 23rd, Joseph Squared in the 7 car. 24, Austin Fitzgerald. 25, Corey Terlindi. 26, Jake Matheson. 27, John Whitendorf. 28, Trevor Perry. 29, Maggie McGuire. And in the 30th position, Travis Beckner. Over to you.
At 31st, we're going to have Damon Burnett with Adam Benefield up there in 32nd. Surprising to see Adam that far back. Guess he didn't feel like qualifying today. 33rd, we'll have Nicholas Padovich with Alan Pajari to his outside. And 35th, we're going to have Jason D. Maines, which is Garrett Maines' father. That's pretty cool.
Hey, all right. So we've got a family taking participation here tonight. Let's see how the father may have passed on the skills to the son. Garrett Maines is all the way up there in 8th position. Now I think we can do our picks as the drivers are driving onto the field. So let's get them on screen. And I picked Joseph Squared. I went with a name that was familiar to me because I wanted something to start off with. And when you're looking at the menu at the restaurant for the first time, you're going to pick the first thing that jumps off the page. So Joseph Squared, let's do it. Let's go to first place tonight. What do you got?
Well, There's nothing wrong with picking a little bit of J to the second power. I got to go with another J, though. I got to go with Jacob Schneider. He's run so good, so many weeks consistently. I feel like tonight might be the chance that he has, starting up there in the second place position. We really picked the low-hanging fruit tonight, but I got a good feeling for Schneider.
And over in the box, Burris, what have you got? Let's see.
Looks like Burris picked old Kevin King, and man, that's a beautiful paint scheme on that 29 hot rod.
Alrighty, well, excuse me.
I was saying, red and black looks amazing on race cars. You can tell Ryco got that figured out, but it looks like we're about to go green here.
Absolutely a field of red and black as they come to the line, looking for the green flag. Let's go, go, go! Lovely start, launching start as everybody stays together in a tight field of 2x2 going into the first turn. The nose of Jacob Schneider just barely poking away in front, taking that lead away from the 17, of Joshua Watson.
Now Schneider's going to take the lead down the back straightaway here. He got a really good launch on that restart over. Hang on, they've changed so many things in the paint schemes here recently. It's hard to keep up.
It's all right. Oh, one car pulling off now already. Oh. We have the 47 pulling off.
Yeah, the pole sitter's down there on the apron.
Paul Sitter just fell down there. Okay, let's see. Back up at the front, though. The cars are now, there's a few too wide in the back. There's a big group in the middle here that are still trying to sort themselves out. A lot of action happening back in the 8th and 9th positions.
Yeah, right now we got Miller Bonds with a nice little dive bomb to the inside of Clayton Hoffman going into turn 3 here. Going to try and get himself a good run. Coming up off the corner. I think he's going to get it.
Bonds
looks like Hoffman. Looks like Hoffman got up there in the grade, just couldn't get the power down as well as Bonds did.
Lieutenant Hoffman on the outside now. Can't quite get enough momentum, but he is finding a spot to put the car. So now he'll fall in now, the 10 behind the 14 of Miller Bonds. Up at the front, Jacob Schneider has now got a sizable lead with Sean Conklin just behind him, and then a few car lengths back, the rest of the field now. Eyes on Kevin King and Tommy Gossett here. Look at this battle for third. There's 3 cars there now. Falling back a little bit, Garrett Maines. Looks like he doesn't want a slice of it yet. As we see, he doesn't have enough room. He's keeping the door shut on the number 11 there, Tommy Gossett. Doesn't want to let him come down.
Yeah, Gossett kind of rolling off, going up to the top here, letting him get down to the bottom. This is something you don't really see out of Tommy often. Tommy's very well known as the Brian Newman of the series. In a lot of cases, loving to keep it up there on your outside and hang on that quarter panel. And I mean, he's still giving him a little bit of hell up there on the top, but I wouldn't expect him to give it up that quick.
I was about to ask what exactly you meant, but then you gave me the perfect example. Just staying tucked in there and making sure that you don't have an option seems to be what he was doing just there. Now we have the 29.
Oh, and the bumper to Kevin King in turn 3. Gossett all over him.
Big bumps. Just pushing him out of the way, bullying him. That is not very sportsmanlike.
That's the Tommy we know and love.
Still green. He held it. He held the line. Now he's waiting for him.
And with
they're side by side now.
Huge dive to the bottom by Gossett. Oh. Kevin King and Tommy Gossett, absolutely no love lost out here right now. The two of them just driving all over top of each other in every corner. Gossett's going to pinch him down to the bottom, and King's going to shove him back up.
I can't believe that there hasn't been a crash or a spin yet from this vicious fight between these two cars that are just absolutely stacked up. There's got to be a little damage at least, but not enough to keep him off the road. And now they're finally falling into place. Maybe they're done bumping and grinding.
Yeah, well, Gossett really got the short end of the stick on that. He got shoved back, lost a couple spots. I mean, that's the thing, though, with these cars, you know, since we went to the composite bodies and we have the new damage, the current damage model, it's not new anymore. We've had it for a bit.
That's right.
But these things are a lot more durable. They handle contact a lot better. The only issue you have to really worry about is, you know, the same thing we see on Sundays, bending a toe link when you hit the wall, but, you know, it's typically not too bad with door-to-door contact. Impressive they both kept those machines under them, though.
Absolutely impressive. Something that you only a seasoned Cup car driver would be able to pull off. I just, having driven a little bit on this track, I can tell you that if I had the amount of stress that was going through his head at that time, I'm not sure that I would have kept quite the same amount of cool, or I at least would have tried to give back a little bit as much as I was giving. But he was really focused more on keeping the car on the road, and it looks like Tommy Gossett, even though he got beat up and fell down about 4 places, he still has opportunities here. He's still in the top 10.
Yeah, he still has a good chance. You know, there's a lot of race left. You just got to keep that temper dialed down a little bit and get the rhythm back going. One thing that I'm really concerned about right now, we saw our pollster, Joshua Watson, drop all the way to the back of the pack at the start. Had to make an unscheduled pit stop. I'm wondering, I think he got penalty on the launch.
And he still is back there also a lap down, almost a little over half a lap down. From the rest of the pack now. We're going to maybe check in with him after the race or see if we can get some insider information later on about what might have happened there to our once promising Joshua Watson there. Up at the front right now, let's check in with the leads again. It's just going to be Jacob Schneider there. Schneider now approaching Watson who is now at the front of the back of the pack, or however you look at it. Sean Conklin in the number 4 car, 2nd place. Garrett Maines in the number 1 machine in 3rd.
Want to keep your eyes out on Garrett Maines. He's notorious for stinking up the show out here in this series, but Sean Conklin as well, very scrappy, very fast. I mean, all 3 of these guys have the same exact thing under them up here in the top 3. Ryco looks like they built an absolute hot rod this week.
Absolutely, and Garrett Maines, the hardest charger right now in the top 5. He's up 5 places from 8th place to 3rd, so he's proving the most, and he was getting through he got through the 2x2 situation that was going on there very well, even avoiding a lot of the natural filtering that was going on. Still, no yellows yet, no full crashing, fingers crossed, as we go into lap 13 here, or as we go through lap 12 here, approaching lap 13 out of 150 at Nashville Speedway.
Yeah, let's think about this track too, flat banking. A little bit harder to drive than some of the other tracks. You're not going to see as much pack racing. This you can tell that some changes have been made to setups over the week because it's a lot less compressed a field than what we saw on Monday night in the A Open. It's crazy how you watch these things evolve throughout the week. What works one race doesn't seem to work the next. And
who do you feel? Is there anyone that you might be able to signal out who had learned something maybe on Monday night? I wasn't there for that one specifically, so. I don't know if maybe you had a name that I should be keeping an eye on. You said Garrett Maines earlier?
Well, Garrett Maines is I got to remember, you're new to this side of things. Garrett Maines, Pro Series driver, immense talent, wins pretty much everything that he steps foot in here. But right now it's looking like his teammates have really learned a lot this week. Conklin and Schneider running really well up there in 1st and 2nd. And Vroman tucked in behind him, another one of those Ryco machines.
That is a tight top 5 or top 4. It's a lot of Ryco colors out there. You're right. This is something that, as someone relatively new to the league, as new as of the last 15 or 16 laps here, I'm going to be doing my best to keep up with. So I'm relying on you to keep me honest and to educate me, Sensei, if you would be so kind.
I got you, brother. You're doing great, man.
Very good. Well, you know who else is doing great? As you mentioned, you already called their names off. Jacob Schneider, Conklin, Maine. That's that 1, 2, 3, 3. Down a little further. Vroman in 4th. We have a battle going on, though. Eyes on the situation between the number 2 car. That's Rob Carroll in the 2 on your screen there. And let's see who's right there. So Paul Bergoli.
Bergoli gonna send it up. Oh my God! Let me get my eyes straight here, fellas.
Thank you very much. Bob Arima and Parrish also closely involved in this battle. The 9 and the 30 here.
And right now it's not much of a battle. These guys are just kind of trying to find that run to make a move. You know, you kind of see him stuck in right here behind Paul Bergoli, running really well in the top 10 himself. It's just, Paul's going to make a look there to the outside.
How viable is bumping on a track like this? How viable is bumping at Nashville?
It's pretty viable. It's not something you necessarily want to do because here on these mountain halves, if you get up on somebody's bumper like that, you can de-wedge the car and cause a huge mess. But it is an option. It's in the wheelhouse. I mean, we saw Tommy Gossett do it there for a whole corner just about. But here you kind of
watching that. That's exactly where my brain was going. I was like, when is that going to finally not pay off anymore? You know, how is he going to use? You mentioned aggressiveness being one of your keys for the race, and it feels like using the nose of the car is just a natural extension of that. Like knowing when to give the guy ahead of you a little, hey, let's go a little faster, buddy, or I'm going to do something much more potentially dastardly.
Yeah, I mean it's a part of the whole aggression thing, but it's one of those things you keep in the toolbox. Most guys, you know, if you're trying to have some kind of moral compass in this thing, you kind of try to keep that as a last-ditch effort. And you kind of pick and choose when to utilize it. Me personally, I've only ever done it with I'm like running second place and we're coming to the white flag. And I'm right on the guy's rear bumper. But you got other guys that are really heavy on it, so it's driver specific.
Gotcha, absolutely. As we're coming to the white flag on stage 1, I believe. Oh, pardon me. I thought we were. This is an official race, actually. Excuse me. No stages. Lap 21. Of 150. Schneider in the lead, Conklin following him still. The gap wide between Conklin and Maines, almost 3 seconds now.
And we got
between second and third.
We got a battle for 9th place here right now. Rob Carroll running around that top line on the outside of Paul Bergoli. We saw that Carroll was all over his bumper there a little bit ago, and looks like Carroll's just done a better job of saving his equipment right now. Bergoli's kind of in that sucker hole on the bottom now.
Yeah, he's going to have to keep his momentum up unless he's going to get shoved out of the way when he tries to get back to the outside of the track. Here we go. As predicted, unfortunately, it looks like Bergoli's going to fall back a little bit, and Barbarema is going to take that place.
Bergoli's going to thread in right here in front of Barbarema.
Pardon me. That's the 30th Parish. Thank you.
You're okay, buddy. New paint schemes.
Numbers right.
And these guys change these paint schemes. I got changed drawers, so.
At least every couple of days, right?
Every couple weeks.
All right. Hey, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, buddy.
Yep. And Hoffman getting by Miller Bonds here for P8.
A lot of shuffling happening here towards the bottom of the top 10. But still, no one, the furthest mover, it looks like Paul Bergoli falling down from his previous place 6 places. And hopefully not much further, though it looks like it's been a little bit tough for him to keep, when he's in the middle of the pack, to keep the positions that he's being pressured for.
Well, it's just it's a case of it's very easy to get out here and burn your stuff up, especially on a surface like this. And, you know, you get a handful of laps in, you think you're good, you think you're running within that window of opportunity for the tires. And then people start flying by, and then you just realize, wow, I maybe burnt off just a little bit too much, and there's nothing you can do about it at this point except for trying to stop the bleeding.
Now we can see that here, and it could end up being something that pays off for him. How many tire sets are we running on tonight? Do you have that information with you? Just trying to figure that out on my side as well.
I'm going to take
4 tire sets is what I've just heard. So could this could end up paying off?
No, we got a lot more sets than I was expecting. We got 6 sets of tires to throw on these things.
6 sets over 150. Okay.
Yeah, this is like Christmas for these guys.
About every 30 laps or so, you can change your tires, but pretty comfortably. So let's see who decides to maybe make that decision as we're coming around. We're still a little early to make that decision, obviously. We're only on about lap 25 here, coming around to lap 26. In the front, though, it looks like Sean Conklin has taken first place from Jacob Schneider. A little bit of a shuffle happening there.
That's the thing. Sean Conklin, really good. Just about a match talent to what Garrett Maines puts on in this series every week. A lot of these things have come down to the two of them beating on each other.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at the moment that pass happened and see if we can analyze that just a little bit. So smooth. Just able to get down on the inside.
And what you see there is Schneider knew that he didn't have anything to contest with Conklin at that point. And this is the thing that we see out of Schneider every week that's really good about him. He does a good job keeping the equipment in one piece. He does a good job moving over when he knows he doesn't have anything to fight with. That's why he's been so good in the points, why he's been so good in these races.
It was a beautiful thing to see. That was a smooth, gentlemanly pass, if ever I did see one. And now the gap is actually increasing slightly between Conklin and Schneider, going upwards of almost to half a second now, where it once was a closer race. This potentially be a strategy out of Jacob Schneider to maybe make those tires run a little further, or has he potentially run them down, being at the front so long?
Well, I think he just ran them down a little bit, not too much, not enough to where he's going to be falling all the way to the back of the pack. But when you got a teammate, behind you, they got a little bit better stuff, and they're running you clean. The best thing to do this early in the race, just kind of roll over, let them have it, go back there, run your race, try to figure out how to get it back as you go.
Here we've got eyes on another battle occurring. That looks like the 12 car. Is that Corey Terlindi?
No, right now we got Vroman going against Garrett Maines here. I'll let the fake numbers on the side fool you. And Vroman doing what he does so well too, saving tires, coming in strong in the late half of the run. And textbook for him. Good clean play. You can tell that these guys up here have a lot of respect for each other. Most of these guys have been running really clean already. No real incidents. Everybody just kind of out here settling in.
Absolutely. It's been very, very, aside from a little bit of bumping and grinding we saw earlier, sort of the middle bottom of the top 10, the top 5 have been very respectfully handling their situation. And it's stretched out now. We're into that sort of string of pearl stage where everyone's got their own group. There's one pack of 4, one small little mini group of 2, but the amount of space between them is enough that they're only influencing each other. So if this is maintained, with the exception of lapped car traffic, which is going to become a problem as time goes on, or a major accident, we're going to see these forming packs stretch out even further, I think. And that gap, which is now almost a full second gap between Sean Conklin and Jacob Schneider, that could get even wider, but having a feeling it's going to tighten up as soon as he gets around to the lap cars and traffic starts to finally come into play again.
Yeah, these guys right now, they're just kind of settling on this run of tires. Right now we got a Bergoli on screen with and we're jumping around. We got a battle here. Old J.R. Barbarema on the inside of one of the many 12 machines. That's Miller Bonds there on the outside.
Barbarema in the Toyota, pushing but not quite able to keep with his nose out of it. Just not able to keep his position as he goes a little bit wide on the outside now. Maybe, but not enough. Very hard place to try to put extra handrail on.
Really loose on the bottom there. He's going to lose a handful of spots. So I was talking about turn 2 getting so slick once you get later on these tires. There's just not much you can do with that. And Barbarema did a really good job putting up there on the outside, giving him room and just powering around him. Good save out of Bonds, though, because that could have easily been a trip back.
I was looking for the yellow flag right there. I was trying to see, and my brain was bracing for wreck information to start going through, but it looks like everything was held. Pedro de Oliveira now putting a little bit of a lead as Bonds falls a little bit further back now. Right behind Bonds, Jake Matheson and Travis Beckner, both hard charging up several places from where they started the race. 11 places for Matheson, 14 places for Beckner. So if Bonds is in any sort of bad shape, we're going to see them also trading places very soon, and that will increase the amount of charting that those two have been able to accomplish with what's been going on over this long stretch of 35 laps.
Well, that's a team name that I haven't seen on a car in a long time. Been a while since I've seen a Nexus eSports machine out there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Madison. Okay. All right. Yeah, you see that? That's how slow I am these days, guys. I'm really trying, but it's perpetual brain rot up here. I'm up here with Edstrom most weeks.
Well, it's either that or the new guy, so you got to take your pick.
Special teams, special players. What's up, brother? Nah, Madison out here running pretty good, holding a pretty wheel, as Clint Boyer so often says. Charging through this field like an A10 Warthog.
The beautiful sound of the Warthog's Vulcan cannon.
Yeah, you know, LG just likes to make things that spin. What's general like?
General would be GE.
General like GE, yeah.
I don't think LG made the Vulcan cannons. That would be a very interesting business for them to fall into, though.
Well, hopefully we go better than their phone industry, because that didn't last too long. Schneider. Dropping back a spot of Roman. Roman.
He's up to five positions now.
Yeah, right now, if you're Conklin, you're sweating because you know if Roman's... Look, we all know what Roman does with a set of tires. He can make those things last longer than anybody. Once he gets himself up there into that top 3, you really got to be looking for him in the hunt. Honestly, dude's like a shark to blood. If he can taste that lead, he's going for it.
He is tasting that lead. It looks like he's closing the gap pretty steadily between himself and Sean Conklin over in first place. By the last lap, he's a 10th faster on their last lap. So that's a 10th per lap. It's not going to be long before it's going to be another quick little battle for first place that could end with Nicholas Roman taking the lead. As we get closer and closer to the point where you might start thinking about maybe taking a set of tires if you know you had 6 sets to take.
Oh, yeah, we're getting right up there to it. It won't be too long for these guys to start funneling down pit road.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, this is a track that really fits to Roman's character as a driver. This is a place where you can make up a lot of time just being slow and methodical. And
is that right?
I mean, we're seeing it right now in action. You see how he's running a much slower line, putting less load on those tires, backing it down earlier, whereas Conklin's up there running that high arc, which is really fast, but the thing is it'll burn him off a little bit quicker if you're not careful.
Gotcha. Yeah, I do see that. He's not quite hugging the line as hard. It's a smooth drive. I see. Okay. So
he's doing
some lessons here.
He's doing what I refer to as Harvicking. Kevin Harvick was so good at running right on the paint every lap. Down early. And that's what made him really good at Atlanta, especially. And Roman
just playing a long con.
Yeah, that's just sometimes it's the way you need to do it, especially when we got a long race like this where it's going green. 2 tenths quicker that last lap. He's got him down to 3 tenths now.
Watching the gap shorten has been interesting. It looks like my predictions for first place in terms of how it was going to play out have changed a little bit as the second place of Nicholas Roman closes in tightly. Now 3 tenths off the bumper of Sean Conklin.
Also, take a look who's clawed his way back to the top 5 in 5th position. Tommy Gossett, after getting shoved offline earlier in a little bit of a competition with Kevin King. He's moved himself up to P4 now, just got by Jacob Schneider.
Gossett,
good recovery for Tommy.
Schneider with a tiny little amount of potential contact there, bumper to bumper with him. He's taking to keep on the outside. Not going to slide in front of Kevin King yet. Schneider behind Gossett. There we go. Now their cars are back in line. Back up at the front. The gap is even tighter now, less than 2 tenths, as Roman is getting ready to make his move. What do you think's going through Sean Conklin's mind right now?
Right now, get out of the way. You ain't fighting Roman off.
And here we see it.
He might try, but he's going to let him have it.
Completely let him have it.
Now, I'll say one thing. There's been a really good gentleman's agreement going on here with these Ryco guys today. So often, there's been a few times where we've watched Conklin and Maines knock each other's doors off, and these guys, as soon as you see your teammates show up in your mirror, you just kind of let them go. It's good to see.
Yeah. That was a very smooth, very respectful, no, go ahead, brother, go ahead and take it. And it looks like now the lead has changed, and Nicholas Roman is your leader going into lap 46 coming up here, actually going the end of lap 45, going into lap 46.
Gossett fighting on. Man, Tommy's really looking good right now. He's all over Maines. tell you what, this is an impressive performance out of this kid. He's had some bad luck here the past handful of weeks, doing a really good job, keeping his nose to the grindstone and just getting it back where he wants to be. And getting a good run in here right now. I hope to see it last for him.
Well, he's got a half a second in front of Kevin King, and he's got a half a second away from Garrett Maines. He's about in the middle of the top 5 in terms of where he could be, and it's going to be a few more hard driving laps before he's going to be able to catch up. It looks like his last lap, though, he's putting the pace on just about the same as just about everybody else here. Nothing really super stand out right now from anybody in the top, except maybe if you look back, Pedro de Oliveira actually did a 31.55, which was the fastest of the last.
Was that a Costa that just came out of pit road there?
Let's take a look.
I can't. We do have our first spitter though.
Yeah,
that could shake things up here.
Let's check that out. Who's going to pit lane right now?
It was a 22 machine just came out of pit road.
Yep, that's 22 belongs to Jose Acosta. Going in right now, Shane Kohlmeyer.
Very solid Jeff Gordon tribute scheme on that 22 car. A lot of nostalgia seeing that run around here.
That's beautiful. Love to see it.
And right now, leaders getting themselves up here in a little bit of lap traffic.
Roman
Jason Maines
looking for it. Yep, he's looking to put Maines a lap down. The door's closed, though, currently on that. We'll see. Nope, there's the dive.
And Jason's not going to give him too much here. Jason really, really patient. Doesn't cause much issue. Just going to let him go by.
As behind him, Sean Conklin goes for the pit, as does Tommy Gossett on this lap, and Rob Carroll, excuse me.
And this right here, this is going to force the leader's hands here. Pretty sure Roman and Maines are going to be making their way down pit road here pretty soon.
You're going to watch that. That's your prediction? I think I put money on that too.
Yep, they're just about at the end of the window, I do believe, and you don't want to lose too much time here.
Well, coming around lap 50, we're a third of the way through the race tonight. So now would be a perfect chance to get those tires in, get that gas in, and get yourself set up for another nice long stint.
Roman staying out, holding strong on those tires.
Woo. All right. Well, we're going to see how long he's going to be able to chew up that air at the front of the pack. Now he's eating his way through the rest of the lap traffic. So the gap between him and, let's see, who's next in line? Kevin King and Clayton are after Maines and Roman there. And
No, we got a car in the fence. Schneider's got a little tight coming out turn 4 there and scraped the letters off the tires there.
Oof.
Not too much damage. Everything looks good, so he'll be all right.
Still on his feet, yeah, as long as the car is driving.
And Hoffman went huge dive to the inside.
Big move, I saw that. Dive to the inside that 10 car coming around, and he's got it.
Yep, getting by Kevin King here.
Hoffman's looking for third. He takes it. Maines in second. Roman still holding on to first. Still out on fresh tires. Going in on this lap, it looks like Jacob Schneider and Paul Bergoli going in for their first set. Popping back out.
Right now, you
Joseph Squared.
Yeah, Miller Bonds going down a lap here to the race leader, Roman. Miller, hard upset. Getting penalized so early in this thing and then being so fast in qualifying. It's not Miller. Man, this is confusing.
I am getting hey, maybe I thought it was just me who was seeing things, you know?
That's Watson. Goodness gracious.
I see. Okay. Watson.
Ken, man.
Next time.
Ken, you paying them all the same, and now I'm confused.
It's okay. It's a beautiful color scheme to see that. Beautiful, like nice uniforms driving. You know, you see it and you think to yourself, man, those guys are going to have their stuff together, and they're proving that they do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are. They are a fight to go against every week. That is for sure.
It's what you love to see. There is currently a battle between Jake Matheson and Chris Willite. They are right next to each other. They're less than a tenth apart here. Let's see, down on the inside, coming back up. He's going to be able to, well, he's going to fall back behind that position. Turlington and Wilhite for position. Now we're watching for it. This car is stacked up. 2 dive deep to the inside. 2 stay out. Oh, once. Let's see. That being
Gossett
the 9 car.
Gossett with a huge charge up here on the top. Gonna get by Matheson. Them fresh tires, man, doing him favors. Gonna get himself cut through this field here pretty quick.
You're right.
And
we're gonna start to see the fresh tires start to pay off.
Gossett is just charging through these guys right now. Can we get a camera on him? He is. This is Tommy's aggression at its peak right here. Not trying to lose too much time to these guys that he's got fresher tires on, sending it into every gap that he can possibly find, and somehow making it work.
It was only just 8 laps ago that he took those tires, and you can see as he passes the 33, he is making them work. As you said, he's now only, let's see, he's now got a fairly decent interval. Let's see, about 2 seconds he's going to have to make up here between himself and Sean Conklin, who will be right in front of him. So, but as we've seen, he's just chewing up the asphalt. There is no way, the concrete, excuse me. This is Nashville, after all. He's chewing up the concrete of the longest concrete track in the NASCAR circuit, and he's making it look easy. Still down 22 positions.
Yeah, he's doing good. Once this thing cycles out, he's going to pick up a lot of spots here, especially with that early cut. I feel like the tire wear, that's really going to make him a lot of time. I mean, oh, big slide there for Watson coming out turn 2. Good save.
In so many of these races on tracks where you have a chance for sliding, you see early on, even in, at least in the middle and lower splits where I tend to find myself, you get that first wreck or that first moment that's just a filter, and it filters out all the drivers who are not sure how to race the track. But I think what we're seeing tonight is such a great example of top split racing. These are guys that, even in the middle of the pack, you've got Chargers who are up 21 positions like Adam Benefield, 17 positions like Jake Matheson. You've got the middle of the pack is just as exciting, just as rip-roaring as anything happening at the front, anything happening at the back with the leads meeting it. It's just exciting to watch, and I haven't yet had a chance to sit down and specifically watch top split racing, but I can see now why people get excited about it. Racing in it and getting a chance to watch it.
I'll say one thing, from car number 1 to car number 35, each one of these guys in this series on this track right now, and I've raced with a lot of them throughout the years, a lot of these guys have a just absolute heap of talent. There's not a bad guy in this field. You can take any of these guys, put them in a lower split, to take the 25th car in here, put them in a lower split, guarantee you can find a way to walk out and win it.
There goes the leader into the pits now.
Roman going to bring her down.
Yeah,
throwing 4 freshies and a little bit of fuel.
Finally going to get himself a little bit of what everybody else is getting a taste of. Although there are still many drivers who have not yet taken tires, which is interesting. You're going 60 laps now on tires like this. What is the big risk that they have now? Is it just buttery tires, sliding up to the outside and not being able to maintain stability on the inside of these curves? Why would you stay out, Sheldon? Why would you stay out in this situation?
Right now, the only thing that he's really facing is time loss. So if you come in right now, if you come in with all these guys came in earlier, you're going to be on equal stuff to everybody that came in. If you stay out later, if you've got enough confidence in the car, you got enough speed, you can stay out a little bit longer, keep that gap that you have, use it as a cushion so nobody overtakes you. Come down pit road, throw on some tires, 10, 15, 20 laps after everybody else did, and then just charge through everybody like they're parked. And that's what we're seeing right now with Maines and what we saw with Vroman. I think it's going to work out better for Roman because he did come in a little bit earlier, so he's not going to have to charge as hard to get where he was. Because
please go on.
Because the more time that you stay out, the more time you lose with the guys on fresh tires.
Yep, Absolutely. They're going to be coming back and gaining just as much speed as you would be had you done the same thing. So,
Oh, 3 wide into turn 3 here.
I'm watching it right now. We got Austin Fitzgerald, Nathan Biggert, Trevor Perry all bunched up together. Watching for contact a little bit. They're 2 wide at the front, 3 wide still as we go into the second turn into the back straight.
Everybody kept it together there. No real cause for incident there.
It was almost like watching a restart for a second, the way everything stacked up. And now we've got people once again falling back into position. Very exciting racing going on here. Looking up a little ways toward the front now. Adam Benefiel, Whitendorf, this is the crew that was in the 4 wide crew. So I'm kind of expecting a little bit more aggression out of Benefiel here. Benefiel's 22 positions up at 10th position right now. So, and he's also one of the people who has not yet taken tires. So if he decides to, he could lose a little bit of that position, but I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing him in the top 10 potentially for the rest of the race. At least after he finishes getting tires, he'll make his way right back up here. As we're 2 by 2 toward the front a little bit. Let me look and see who's those cars that are 2 wide here. Looks like one of them is the 2 blue colors, the 2 Ryco colors. And then that's the 13.
One thing about, we were talking about Benefield there a second ago, up 22 spots. That does not shock me. I've ran a ton of races against that guy, and he always seems to find himself in the mix. He'll forego qualifying and drive his way through the field like it's no problem. Dude is very calculated, very scrappy, and he's fast when he needs to be.
He's fast when he needs to be. Sounds like the name of the game on a race like this, where tire saving and planning for long stretches of green might be the way that you end up winning the race. Overall speed might not be the name of the game here. And if you've got someone who's got that level of strategy and who's always up front, like you said, they're going to be the ones to watch out for in the long run. And we're approaching that long run now as we get to lap 69 out of 150, almost lap 70 here, as we look towards a further 80 laps to go tonight at Nashville Superspeedway.
Maines really pushed this pit window pretty far. I wouldn't be staying out this long personally, but see what he does.
It looks like he's also passing some of the lap traffic as well, nice and smoothly. Just put John Schwartz down a lap. Garrett Maines, Clayton Hoffman in the second place position. Hoffman also looking for a pass now. He's got it. Hoffman in third place, Pedro de Oliveira.
The strategy, maybe what's gotten Hoffman up here in a P2, but he was up there running right at the tail end of the top 10 earlier. He's got a pretty fast nitro hot rod under him. He's solid. Always finds his way up into the picture here in these things. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a caution right now if he couldn't, happen to be scrappy. But
hey,
this whole field, it's just a great field. I cannot go on enough about all these guys. There's so many big names in this and so much talent.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it on display myself. It's pretty impressive. Also impressive to me, in the top 6 cars, 4 of them are Toyotas. I think that's interesting. I don't know if I see that kind of. Are these normally the cars in iRacing? This is maybe just my naive take for iRacing in general. Are they really uniform across each other, or are there subtle differences that you've seen or you've experienced in having a different badge on the car?
So in the NASCAR stuff, there's really no difference aside from hitbox, so to speak. Now, some years they have made mistakes where they forgot to program grip modifications to different cars. Like there was one year where the Camaro was down significantly in downforce when it was in dirty air. But that's very few and far between that you see things like that. Some people swear that the Ford's better or the Toyota's better, but there's no real difference. Big slide there by Barbarema coming on pit road.
Big slide. Yep, we got a few people going into the pit now, shuffling things around. Oliveira, Barbarema, and Bonds all heading into pit lane as the lead shifts around a little bit. And now we have Garrett Maines still in first place, Clayton Hoffman in second, Kevin King in third place, and then the hard-charging Cody Terlindi is in fourth. Fifth place, Chris Wilhite up 12 places. And I got to keep going because these places have these guys in the back who have been moving their way to the front. They have not taken tires yet, some of them have come up 20 places, and we're just now seeing, oh, right as I say it, we're just now seeing about 5 or 6, 7 cars or so all head to pit lane as the lead shifts around yet again. Or as the middle of the pack shifts around yet again.
That 15 machine was absolutely dead sideways coming on a pit road. And here comes Maines, race leader, bringing her down, lap 75.
Flying 75 laps in. Those tires have got to be made of butter.
Swiss cheese, probably.
Swiss cheese. This will be a happy refresher for Garrett Maines for sure, as Clayton Hoffman slides confidently into first place. Jake Matheson in second. Maggie McGuire third place, charging up 26 places from 29. Very impressive numbers. And we're going to take it to commercial here on GridVision as we are on lap 75 of 150 at Nashville Superspeedway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split. Joe LaCastro here with Sheldon Adkins. And we just had a little commercial break. Coming back in from the commercial break, we've had a couple other people go back into the pit, and now it looks like the whole field has taken tires, finally. Here by lap 81, let's break down the people in the front. Sean Conklin is leading right now with Tommy Gossett close behind him, just about a second. Nicholas Vroman, one of our previous leaders, in third place. Jacob Schneider in fourth, and Rob Carroll in fifth.
So what you're seeing right now is Sean Conklin and Tommy Gossett both did that. They cut the strategy very significantly. Came in around lap 50 or so. Got to make up all that time on the fresh tires. Everybody was out there. Thing is, though, Vroman stayed out as late as he did. He's only 3 seconds back from the leader. He came in on lap 63 or 66. And Vroman is just hauling right now. Maines lost a lot of time staying out as long as he did, so I don't know how that's going to affect him as this thing goes on. But Vroman.
Yeah, he just did a 31:02 on his last lap, which was 0.3 faster than Gossett and 0.5 faster than Sean Conklin, a full half second. So your predictions about Vroman being a fast driver right now, absolutely on the money, as it looks like the 3-second gap is going to become a 2.5-second gap here halfway through lap 84.
Yeah, and Maines and Hoffman are both on the freshest sets, I do believe, right now. But right now, I'd bet everything on Vroman.
I think that's a pretty fair bet. Looking around a little bit through the top 10, top 15 or so, we've got some interesting situations. Now that everyone's had tires, we're trying to see the top numbers sort themselves back out again. Joseph Squared is 16 places up, having come in for tires on lap 52. He was one of the guys who came in on one of the earlier sets of pitting. So Joe Squared, 16 up, he's in 7th place right now. Down in 10th place, Shane Kohlmeyer charges ahead 9 places. And then the next closest is actually our current hardest charger, Alan Pajari, 21 places up in 13th place. He pit at 50. He was one of the first guys to pit. And so he's putting those tires to the test and trying to maintain a great charge that he's got going on, and hopefully going to be able to push a little bit further.
Yeah, it's really cool weighing up with a race here at a 1.5 mile track like this, and you get all these altering strategies, and you have no idea what's going to work. And the biggest upset, too, for a lot of these guys would be if we got a yellow right now.
Oh, man. Hard to even consider. With the way things have been going, everyone's got to have all fingers and all fingers and all toes crossed that this is just going to be the way it is, as it might be said, for the rest of the race. If it was as such, you would be able to see that guys at the front, Conklin, Gossett, these guys would be able to sort through traffic no problem, and it would be, I would almost call it an easy win. They've got the track clearly under their feet. They know how to stay out for a long time. Some of them were staying out. It looks like actually Conklin and Gossett were two of the earlier pitters. Roman not pitting until 62. And remember, Garrett Maines, our leader for a while there, he's still working his way back up. He's back in the top 10. He could disrupt. He'd be the only person I think who could disrupt Roman and Gossett and Conklin up there in the top 10. If you give Garrett Maines a little bit of time here, I bet he'll work his way up there. What do you think?
Absolutely could. And I also want to give a big shout out too, though, to 14th place, 29 machine of Alan Pajari. Started this thing in 34th spot. He's up here wheeling and dealing around some pretty big names. You know, maybe a strategy call that got him up here, but man, it takes something to keep it on you to get up there. As we see the 29 past the 29, man, you don't see that often.
No, that's Kevin King taking the lead there from Alan Pajari, as Pajari falls in just behind him. Good opportunity for him to maybe tuck it in and keep up with the pack. But yeah, coming up 20 places and holding on to that, it takes tenacity, especially on a track where you're already getting lapped by some of the leaders, and you're just doing your best not to get in their way.
We got a battle shaping up here between Joseph Squared and Garrett Maines for 7th spot. Maines just got by Paul Bergoli about a lap ago to get himself up into 8th position. Maines working his way up here through the field. He's just going to go by the lap car of Acosta here.
Punching forward, Acosta tucked in on the inside. They're door-to-door still, it looks like. Just wants to remind him who's in front. As Maines, eyes keenly locked, like an eagle, on the bumper of Joseph Squared.
Maines out here, though. He's on the freshest tires out of anybody in this field right now. And we know he's a rocket, so we'll see what happens here.
Right now we're watching Gossett.
And Joseph Squared right now.
Oh, excuse me.
You're looking at Gossett Gossett Transport LLC?
Yes, that is it.
Yeah, sponsor.
There we go. That's the right sponsor. That's the wrong person.
Hey, it comes from the same family.
It does. And the sponsorship cars, those cars are so slick. I just happened to look at the name and I keep thinking that it's Tommy Gossip, and actually it's Joseph. Joseph now getting pushed down to the inside a little bit.
Mains with good charge on the outside. He's going to clear Joseph squared pretty easily. Joseph's on older tires. He's not going to try and hold up Mains too much here. A lot of respect here among these teammates.
Yeah, that's really what we've seen. We've seen that this team up at the front has been making way for each other, bowing out when needing to bow out. They know that they're all going to the same place. They're all driving in the same direction. So why make it hard? The celebration will be wonderful either way over at team headquarters once this race is done.
See Main setting up Shane Parrish here for the 6th spot. We'll get a look down here on the bottom. Parrish doesn't have the tires to fight back. Main's just going to blow by him here like he's standing still. Huge cut down there on the apron.
Yeah.
Bring it back down to the bottom and fish in the barrel. That's why you take that late. That's why you take that late strategy. It makes the end half of this thing so much easier, and you know nobody's going to be able to catch up with you.
No, you think he can do the rest of the race on these tires as Sean Conklin goes to pit?
Oh, he did cut the strategy directly down the middle. So I think he's planning on a 1-stop. I think some of these other guys are planning on a 3-stopper or a 2-stopper, and I think
bold strategy, Cotton.
I think what Garrett's done here is going to work out really well for him.
I think so too. We're watching it happen live here on GridVision.
It's the only
Ryco Performance Friday night top split.
It's the only concern is going to be, is he going to be able to get up there to Vroman? Is he going to be able to contend with him?
I think it's just a matter of time. And if you're looking at the speeds being put down, Mains is consistently, at least his last time was again less than, it was a 3.04, and then he just did a 3.09. So he's putting 3/10 on the lap times of Nicholas Vroman every lap. I think we're going to, without a doubt, the 10-second gap that is currently there between the two of them is shortening. And I think that we're going to end up seeing Nicholas Vroman getting caught up to and potentially having to contend for the lead from Garrett Mains.
Well, I'm also wondering, too, we knew Vroman was on way fresher stuff than Gossett and Schneider. And look at how small of a gap Vroman has back to Gossett and Schneider right now. I'm wondering if Vroman isn't doing what I talk about every week, just being really, really patient with these tires. He knows he's got 9 seconds to play with because he knows nobody's going to be getting through Gossett and Schneider aside from Garrett Mains. I think that he might just be toying with him a little bit here.
It's just one time to do it. Now, he could, at the moment that he gets passed, is that the moment that he starts thinking, do I force his hand? Do I go for a tire run? Oh, down to the apron goes Garrett Mains again, setting himself up for that entry. Or that's just a habit, diving the apron like.
Well, if you cut the apron like that, it can shave off about a tenth and a half, depending on which track we go to.
Okay.
Because you're taking the lowest possible line on a slight bend. But it is a little bit harder on the tires some places we go, and also there's other tracks where you go there and you can slam it down there and knock the side skirts out of the car.
Watching that as Rob Carroll goes into pit now. It's got me wondering if when Nicholas Vroman eventually ends up contending, if he's going to decide to make that move and pit himself. He's on 62 tires. He's on lap 62 tires. Garrett Mains on lap 75 tires. Is he going to pit?
I can tell you already, I think Vroman's in this for the long haul. I think he cut early so that he could get that huge buffer between him and Mains. It's just going to come down to how well he can save his stuff when Mains gets to him. I feel like once Mains gets it down to about 5 seconds, you're going to see Vroman start to pick up those lap times a little bit and put a little bit of separation between him and second place.
He's been doing a pretty good job. He's been doing a pretty good job so far of keeping things going as we cross lap 100, and we're getting ready for lap 101 here. Out of 150.
I got a question. You got anything you can tell me about Ryco?
Oh, I have a couple things I can tell you about Ryco.
Well, I'd love to hear it.
Well, let me tell you this. At Ryco Performance, we're more than a setup shop. How about that? We're a performance provider, preparing you weekly with data and setups to get you ahead of the curve of the competition. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or a weekend warrior, Our cutting-edge data packs and one-on-one coaching sessions are tailor-made to push the limits of yourself and your virtual race car, giving you the winning edge you crave. Now, why choose Ryco? Expert craftsmanship by a team of seasoned builders, that's one. Cutting-edge performance enhancements tailored to your vehicle, that's two. Unrivaled coaching and reliability to handle the most demanding circuits on the iRacing platform, that's three. And to round it out, for more information, visit us at Ryco-motorsports.com, where we build champions and deliver results. That's Ryco Performance, sponsors of tonight's race. That's what I have to say about Ryco.
Thank you. Right now we see one of the guys that's taking the two-stop strategy here, getting by Roman, getting his lap back, way fresher tires.
Taking back Roman, yep, here we go.
But right now Roman just out here sailing up to a second and a half on Tommy Gossett in second place. And Gossett, I can't say it enough, man. I expect to see this race turn out to be pretty rough for Tommy. He's done a really good job staying on the wheel, driving that thing, not letting it be over early. Doing a great job out here in P2, or sorry, P3. Yep, P4
Gossett,
now.
Gossett heads into pit lane as it looks like Jacob Schneider takes second place. Garrett Maines is firmly in third. He's only 7 seconds now, 7.5 seconds off the lead. A few other people, looks like Tommy Gossett heading into pit lane, but we had coming out earlier just a minute ago Paul Bergoli and Shane Parrish both getting back out onto the course. And let's take it over to Kevin King versus Chris Wilhite for the battle for 6th place.
Yep, Wilhite just trying to set up King, trying to find a way to get a run to get up there to him so he can try to make the pass. Wilhite and King both are running pretty good, tucked up here in the top 10 all race. It's weird seeing Ryco. It's weird seeing a car with Ryco stickers that ain't red.
Hey, red, that's a purple color on that Ryco car.
Yeah. Purple and chrome.
And chrome as the 7 dives in, tucks himself onto that line, trying to get into that tunnel so that he can catch up to and make the pass.
You got a good run on King there coming out of turn 4, starting to inch into that advantage that Kevin had on him there.
Now, where would you make the pass here? What's the safest turn here in this situation? Is it just wait for that big lead out of 2, where you can kind of slide past him, or where would you try to make the pass here?
Oh, I don't know. I've never really thought much about passing zones on the ovals. We kind of just do it where we can. The most likely would be turns 3 and 4 because it's a quicker set of corners, but it's also tighter. So you got the braking zone leading up to it. The way the track's designed in these these D-shaped cookie cutter ovals is it kind of sets you into the corner easier, so people can carry a little more throttle. But 3 and 4, since you're coming straight in, it
looks like
makes it for bigger.
There's been a little bit of switching around going up at the front here. We can get eyes on Garrett Maines for a second. He's now in second place as Jacob Schneider heads into the pits.
Maines
first place.
Maines inching into that massive lead that Roman had. Got it down to 5.5 seconds now. Here's the question. What does Roman have in the tank? As Gossett goes by and unlaps himself from Maines here.
Roman is signaling for the pits.
Is he really?
Yep, Roman is off and into the pits as Garrett Maines takes the lead.
Huh.
So it looks like it's going to be Maines, Hoffman, and King. First, second, and third place. Getting ready for in the middle of lap 109. So Roman did push the tires, but he's given up his strategy, potentially. I have a feeling we'll still be talking to him before the end of the night. But he gave up the strategy of maybe pushing for just 1 stop, and he's definitely going for 2 here.
I mean, I could have been wrong too. I could have been wrong too, assuming the 1 stop, but
I think it was a fair bet considering he stayed out until lap 75, something like that. He didn't pit until very late. Lap 71, 75, somewhere around there was his first pit stop. So it very well could have been something that he could take for the rest of the race, but up against anybody who took another set of tires in between there, he was going to be hard-pressed to maintain first place. It was going to be a slow burn for him.
That's going to be really huge for Roman, too. You saw him come out of pit road. He's a couple seconds ahead of Maines. Doesn't have to worry about unlapping himself. He can breathe easy here as he tries to get his way back up there to him.
That's what we like to see. gets ready to charge his way back up to the top, already out of pit lane. Up at the top now, Garrett Maines, Clayton Hoffman, Kevin King. Let's look for another set of battles going on. I think Pedro de Oliveira and Valderrama just had a little pass. Let's get eyes on. And Adam Benefield's involved there as well. Looks like Adam Benefield was able to get P8 just a few seconds ago from Pedro.
Benefield with a good run today. Look at Matheson. He's worked himself up to fifth spot here.
Fifth spot, up 21 positions. You're not kidding. Benefield up 24 positions. Matheson up to the 5th place spot, 21. He's on tires from lap 76. Here we are on lap 112. I think that he could be good where he is for the rest of the race, considering everybody in the top 10 now has had a pit lap somewhere in the 70s. I think that we're pretty good to see these guys try to push these tires to the end of the race, unless someone in the top 10 decides to pit now and then, which I highly doubt.
Yeah, and that 33 machine right now, if he were to finish where he's at, he would get a massive boost in points and iRating. Doing pretty good for being such a low seed into this split. Gotta nod your hat to that.
Unbelievable numbers. He's looks like he would get a 80 boost in iRating according to live timing here. So it'd be beautiful numbers to have.
Yep, Oliveira looking really. Oliveira looking very strong. I don't know why I said aloe vera. That's just
Maybe
wrong,
you need
guys.
to moisturize a little bit.
Apparently I do. Too much time in the sun with the kid.
Hey, you know what? But that's the time that's worth it. That's worth taking. Let's have a look and see where the fight is at along the race right now.
I'll tell you what, I'm still absolutely gutted for Josh Watson.
Yeah.
Started this thing out on the pole, looking great. Doesn't even get to do a full lap where he's got, a penalty over top of him just for an issue in the restart zone.
Yeah, he's still a lap, just barely a lap down, unfortunately, sitting in 27th place, down 26 positions from the pole. It was a very non-glorious moment for Joshua Watson in that situation.
And for him right now, he is going into every corner, every lap, cussing. Just because, of all the races that these guys decide they want to go green, the race that I have a problem is the one where I get black, is the one where we go green flag to flag. Yep. So far.
That's the one. And here we are, flag to flag so far. We're at lap 117 out of 150. I think, I like the commentator's curse. I like to tempt fate. We're very likely, unless someone has not pit their tires since lap 50. I was going to say, nope, looks like everybody has. We're very likely to be going wall-to-wall on greens here. And that would just be almost the icing on the cake of the situation. You've got some of the best drivers in iRacing in these cars right now, putting on an absolute clinic on how to keep a lap, keep 150 clean laps going. And then as every lap goes on, these drivers have got to be thinking, but what if? But what if? What if? What if? What if? All the way up to the last lap, where they're just going to lose it. And I have a feeling that if we're going to see any yellows, it's going to be within the last 5 laps of this race. When people finally are thinking, I need to make a move.
They've got Fox, has Larry Max trends of the race. Well, we've got Taylor Burris up here in the production booth, and I'm wondering if we got any Burris bullets for this one. Burr says that he does feel like the potential of a green-white checkered finish is still looming. Says he expects caution a little bit later on in this thing once these guys start to, taper their focus and get on those old hot tires. I mean, it's easy. Turn 2 is slicker than Al you-know-what, so...
Well, we're going to start seeing it, because if you pit on lap 75 and you're going all the way to lap 150, you're doing another 75 laps. You're pushing your tires to their absolute limit in terms of your ability to drive them quickly. Now, thankfully, everybody else is doing the same thing. So if people are going to be sliding up the track, they're going to be doing it even uniformly. If people are going to be driving on slick tires, they're going to be doing it uniformly. It's unless someone decides to realize, hey, you know what, I can afford to pit, which no one can in the top 10 right now, because I'll get faster tires. You're almost too late if you don't do it immediately. If you want to try to make your way back up,
I will tell you
the kind of exit that we saw earlier, like the 8-second tire change.
I will tell you,
too fast.
My daughter has a better chance of catching the Easter Bunny than we have with the guy on 75 lap tires. Garrett Main's up there in the lead, getting sideways.
Yeah.
That dude.
Power Garrett Mains.
He's something else.
Love it. Love it. And we're going to get to see that tonight, I'm pretty sure, as we come around to lap 122 of 150. Let's break down your top 10 really quick. We have in first, Garrett Mains. Second, Clayton Hoffman. Third, Kevin King. Fourth, Chris Willite. 5, Cody Terlindi. 6, Jake Matheson. 7, Adam Benefield. 8, Miller Bonds. 9, Pedro de Oliveira. And 10, John Whitendorf. Speaking of, Shane Conklin. Right as I speak, Shane Conklin makes his way around Whitendorf, and it takes the 10th place, pushing the hard-charging Whitendorf down 1 place.
Yeah, Sean looking really strong out here, really fast, all race long. You know, Conklin, Vroman, and Mains, they're kind of in their own caliber, the way we've seen this season play out, and watching
Absolutely.
carve through this traffic has been pretty fun to see. Also, I want to throw a little bit of love to Chris Wilhite up there too in 4th spot. Strategy's working out really good. He's done a good job keeping that thing in one piece. Running up here in the top 5 and top split. It's good time. Good run for him today.
Beautifully timed. Sean Conklin did a 30:39 on the last lap, which was the fastest in the top 10. So in terms of the gap that he's trying to close right now between himself and Miller Bonds, it's going to be a 0.2 at a time kind of gap. Maybe a little bit more like 0.15 there, as it looks like it's a second, 1.15 seconds currently between the two of them. That 3.39 being the fastest in the top 10 reminds me earlier of what we saw from Garrett Mains, who was just putting down incredible, consistently fast lap times. It looks like a 31:22. 3:39 was his best lap time. He did a 31:22, which is still one of the fastest times, if not the fastest time, in the top 10 on his last lap.
Madsen stuffed into the fence there coming out of turn 2. Trying to get to the outside of Terlendi. Doesn't look like it hurt him too bad. Still getting the run.
Has it. Yeah, he's got the nose on him.
Yeah, he's got that momentum on the high side. He's going to dive it back down here to the bottom in turn 1. He's going to get the spot. Terlendi, is that a new paint scheme on him? That's a nice looking hot rod still. A lot prettier than the Jimmy Jones concert he was running on. It's like looking cheap. I like it in white and blue.
It's pretty.
Making me cold over here.
Chilly. Looks like a Coors Light car almost.
Oh man, I missed the silver bullet. We need to bring that back.
Bring it back.
No, we got a yellow.
A yellow is out. Let's see if that yellow is out. Now, it's not a green-white checkered situation, but it is a late game caution, as we're definitely, we are less than 30 laps away from the end of tonight's race.
This changes everything. Everybody's going to come down here and throw on four sets. Four sets.
Tires.
Good Lord. 4 tires.
4 sets of tires. Every driver with 16 tires on their vehicle just pulling off the lane.
All right, take them off and put them back on.
4 times, please. Thank you.
This is going to change the entire complexion of this race. These guys up here in the top 5, top 10, who stayed out long for this gamble.
Now, what caused this yellow? We're going to find out right now. We got our expert egghead pencil pusher, number cruncher, going through and trying to figure out what caused this yellow. And we're going to see if we can find out here on the GridVision replay. We're going to figure out why we're under caution first. We're still live here on this camera. As you see, all of our drivers now heading into pit lane. In. There we go, everybody. Anybody who stays out is a fool. Very good.
Back into the box is clean here.
Everybody pitting in.
This is not, a lot of these guys did not want to see this because everybody set themselves up for a green run here. Main's
You're exactly right.
Main's gonna lead Hoffman off pit road here. No contest for the top two here.
We're already kicking everybody back out. It looks like there's a lot of shuffling going on, but to be honest, a lot of the top 10 was maintained pretty well. Still see that strong position from Madison. Still see a strong position for Benefiel. Cody Terlindi manages to catch third position. I believe he was a little bit further down before he finished. Some of these guys look like they're only taking 2 tires. Or maybe just tires and no fuel. We got Garrett Maines had a 10-second pit time, as opposed to these 15-second pit times that we were seeing from some of the other guys. So maybe a little bit of a strategy there.
So trying to figure out what the cause of caution was here.
I wonder if someone like went to the inside. I didn't see an off track.
That's weird. I guess we got a phantom debris caution.
Late race restart. That's right.
We'll just assume that we'll just assume Watson threw a little bit of roll bar padding down the back straightaway so he gets his lap back.
Maybe it was the mouth.
No, that's what I'm going with. Somebody threw. Okay. Yep, there you see. Roll bar padding out the window.
Yep, I saw it. Yep, there it went. Whew. Glad nobody got hurt.
It was probably something as simple as somebody parking on the apron just because they were done and the caution picking it up.
That is a possibility.
Mr. Ryco himself said it was Schwartz who's caused caution. So
Schwartz caused the caution. I see.
he said the line down. Nope.
We should be able to. Oh, there's the big slide. Schwartz spinning around. Saving it.
Let's see that back again.
Let's see that one more time. That was a good save, I gotta say.
Lights are out on the pace car. They're working their way down the back straightaway. I have heard that apparently he was asking for a caution all race.
He gave us one.
Some people might be looking at that with a little bit of scrutiny because.
You wanted a caution that bad? You created one.
Based on that quick 360, I'm not going to say anything else to get myself in trouble. But right now, working their way through turn 4. Hoffman to the outside of Garrett Maines as they get ready to go into the Geico restart zone.
Here we go, folks. Let's get ready for this late restart. Lap 130. They're in the zone.
Drag.
Let's go, go, go.
Yep, Maines to the throttle pretty quick there on the bottom. Gets a push from the behind from Terlindi. Going to come to the top, cover the top.
Terlindi on the inside, stacked up tight, just in front of Sean Conklin. Holding tight to the inside line, keeping the doors shut as best they possibly can, trying to maintain that speed. But it looks like Clayton Hoffman is going to get the nose on him. Still too wide.
Hoffman with a good charge on the outside. He's going to get some good momentum down the front straightaway here. But Terlindi fighting back really strong in the bottom. Going to dive it down to the apron. Give it to Terlindi that lap.
It's King and Conklin right next to each other too wide as we are still keeping it tight, and the car group, the group behind them, also too wide.
Hoffman's going to clear here. Conklin all over the back end of Terlindi. A little bit of contact going in the back straightaway into 3. Keeve's going to charge by up top. Really loose on the bottom there for Terlindi. It's a bad place to be on the restart. The momentum's up on top. King gets up to the fence.
Very close shaves. Very close shave. Trinity following the line of mains as they dip down to the apron. Still looking too wide there. The group of Ryco cars. One potentially into the wall. I saw some smoke there.
And this right here, this is what we talk about when we get cautions, man. These things breed them. And there's a little bit of contact there between Conklin and Trelendi again.
3 wide.
3 wide out of 4 with Wilhite on the bottom. Wilhite backs out of it, gives Conklin the spot. Still fighting 3 though, with Matheson on the outside now. Good battle.
Trelendi falling back a little bit, hopefully to get out of that situation.
And from 3rd place all the way back to about 8th on that restart.
Now has to be Adam Benefiel, who does not want to let him in.
You know Trelendi's got to be steaming back behind that sim rig right now. Had a good spot, was in a good position. Gets pushed out the line just a little bit here, trying to make a move on the inside of Hoffman. And it's just a sucker hole to the back.
As the cars finally get swung out a little bit, he's 18 up, very close. Potential
Hoffman
contact.
All over the rear bumper of Mains in 3 there. A little bit of, throws him a little bit of nose going into the corner.
Looks like some bumper also potentially between King and Conklin. They're too wide yet again. Going around turn 2.
Mains running the outside line, trying to build a little bit of a gap going on the straightaway on these guys so that he can't get back to his bumper.
Shane Conklin just fell back hard and pushed out Jake Matheson a little bit. Big brake check. Diving the inside again. Everybody now following Garrett Mains' time-saving line.
Yeah, Mains right now. He's got that thing set to kill at the moment. He don't want to give these guys a chance. He's worked so hard to get this thing.
With 11 laps to go, it's doubtful he's going to be letting off the gas at all. Probably putting on a little clinic here as we lead into the last 10 laps of tonight's race. Diving the inside and going to the outside now. Jake Matheson looking for a spot. Jake trying to work his way around Sean Conklin. Riding the outside now, trying to build some speed that he can use and keep up on these straights. He's tucked in.
Garrett's just absolutely got this thing hooked up. Matheson to the outside of Conklin, all over the bumper going into turn 3. Just about had him spinning sideways to the center of the corner. Up into the fence, still making the move on the outside.
Definitely contact between the 2 cars there, but it looks like he's got the nose, he's got the speed. Can he maintain it, or is Conklin going to slide up?
Oh, Conklin all over the bumper of King. Man, these guys are just... Oh, Matheson in the wall, Conklin with him.
An absolute scrap between Conklin and Matheson.
Conklin leaning on the door just a little bit coming into turn 3. Matheson's fighting up top. Oh, and he's going to shove Matheson offline.
Matheson's not giving it up, but he's off now. Falling back, it's Matheson. With 9 laps to go, Matheson has fallen off now. He's falling back to 9th position. Conklin not giving up. Conklin holding on to the 4th position. He started there. It looks like he's trying to end there as well.
Conklin showing us that textbook aggression that he carries with him every week.
Very impressive. Very defensive driving.
That fella would rather die than give a spot to somebody, and you're seeing it in work here. But it's working out for him, too.
Incredible car control.
And look who's pieced his way back up here right outside the top 5. You got Roman working his way.
What did we say? We said we'd see him. It looks like there's 2 battles happening right now. The battle for 1st and 4th are getting very, very hot. The battle for the lead is a 10th of a second off right now. The battle for 4th looks like it's stacking up again as they go 2 wide there. Matheson trying to make his way back up as he passes Chris Wilhite up at front. Mains, Hoffman. Hoffman is looking for a line on Mains. He's close to him now, less than a car length away, half car length off. Right behind him, Kevin King, just happy to be here, but it's really between Mains and Hoffman right now. Hoffman chewing up the track, hitting the wall on the outside, losing some speed as we go into 143.
Hoffman trying to off-center that nose a little bit, get a little bit of clean air, cutting back down to the bottom here, trying to build some kind of a run, and also defend against Kevin King, who is all over his rear bumper. Coming down the front straightaway, they dive it down to the bottom.
At this point, if you're Clayton Hoffman, you're not even paying any attention to what's behind you. You're trying everything you can to use that nose. Like you said, the third key of the race that you gave us was be aggressive. This is the time to do it. When you've got 6 laps left, you're not going to make any friends at the end of the race. You need to try to push your way. You need to try to make a statement, or else this is going to be your only chance to do it. They're 3 wide behind.
Hoffman was just sort of thrown just a hair too early there in turns 3 and 4, and you see it really bite him back on the end of the straightaway here.
The battle behind for 4th with 3 wide for a second there, as it looks like Sean Conklin was able to pull ahead. Matheson still chewing his way back up to the front, charging hard.
Just a bit of contact between him and Terlindi there.
Still holding on to it. Chris Wilhite falls back. Terlindi still holding on. Matheson still ahead. He's up 20 positions, still in 6th.
And Benefield fishtailing right behind him, underneath Wilhite.
This is a way to end the race, folks. 5 laps to go at Nashville Superspeedway.
Oh, big shake up here at the front. Hoffman diving down to the bottom here. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Not quite.
Not enough. He was looking for it, and he's still looking for it. He is inside the head of Garrett Maines, and he's saying, I'm coming for you. There's nothing you can do over the next 4 laps to let go of me except for make a mistake, and he's waiting for it. And if he doesn't make it, I have a feeling that Clayton Hoffman might try to create the mistake himself, so to speak.
Hoffman all over the bumper, not one to give up. He's fought his way through this field, worked himself up to a good position. Caution came out at the right time, got himself the track position he needed. He's all over the bumper of Maines for the lead here. This is why you never give up.
Contact behind Sean Conklin, Nicholas Vroman. Little bit of contact for the 4th place position as we still keep our eyes on 1st and 4th. There's 2 battles going on here at the front where it was previously peaceful driving. Now with 3 laps to go out of 150, it's not pace, it's war that these gentlemen have chosen.
Matheson with a huge hip check to the outside of Conklin. Oh, he's going to shove him out of the corner, out of the line here. That's the last thing you want to do to Conklin. Conklin's going to fight back here on the bottom. All over the bumper, trying to stuff him into the fence. Doesn't quite get to him. Gets huge push from Terlindi down the back straightaway, though.
Down to the inside. Lap traffic is coming into play now, if you can believe it, with 2 laps to go. The number 1 of Garrett Maines pushing his way to the front.
Conklin into Matheson. Matheson around on the front straightaway. They both spin into the grass.
We've
No
got
caution.
a white flag out. No caution. White flag is out. No caution. Garrett Maines doesn't even know what happened. Clayton Hoffman doesn't even know what happened. They're just racing for first here with the white flag out with the final lap. We're into the back stretch now. Excuse me, 2 laps to go. White flag this time by.
Coming to the white flag. Garrett Maines with a mirror full of Clayton Hoffman. Can Hoffman get to him? Doesn't look like it right now. Maines with a huge run down the front straightaway to take the white.
This is his one chance, and Hoffman
No.
falling back just a little bit.
Never mind. We were off a lap there, fellas. Maines. Dang it, Burris. Why'd you tell us wrong? Yeah, Maines just won it.
That was it. Maines won the race, folks. You heard it here first. Or maybe our booth heard it in another timeline, another multiverse. But here in this universe, Garrett Maines is your winner. Clayton Hoffman, 2nd place. Kevin King, 3rd. Nicholas Vroman, 4th. And Cody Terlindi in 5th place.
And what a terrific battle. With a lot of respect for the win here between Maines and Hoffman. You know, we saw what happened on the other side of things when you don't have respect for your fellow competitors. Both of y'all go around, but these two put on a clinic and one heck of a battle to the end of this thing. You know what?
These two. Tell me.
I think we need to catch our breath, man. I think we got a commercial to roll, don't we? Let's get it going.
We do. Yes, please. Let's take that over to commercial as we celebrate with Garrett Maines at the end of the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, folks, to the results of Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split. I'm Joe LaCastro in the booth with Sheldon Atkins, and it was an incredible finish, including a bit of a wreck at the end here. We're going to have a quick look at the replay of a wreck that occurred. Watch here off to the inside of the track. Wow.
Let's get another angle at it, but what you saw right here, what you just saw two really aggressive drivers not want to give each other space. Conklin, we know he's super aggressive. We know Matheson's pretty aggressive himself. Coming down to the last few laps of this thing, they ruffled each other's feathers for a bit there. Eventually, cooler heads have to prevail, but if they don't, this is what you end up with. And it's a shame because these guys have put on an incredible race, an incredible performance, and just it's a shame to be spinning through the grass coming to the white.
Yeah, that was a if I'm going, you're going with me moment. It looks like. We can get a little. You want to see that in slow mo real quick, or you want to jump to the results first?
Yeah, let's pop that baby back in slow mo.
All right. So I just want to be able to just see that timed out a little bit. I think that.
Get us up close. Give us the Fox camera zoom. Get us up there nice and close. But like, in order to understand why this happens too, you gotta see we saw it live a couple laps before this. These two just absolutely knocking each other's doors off on every end of this track.
It was impressive that neither of them actually caused a yellow during that time, and they were able to hold on, maintain. But that is just that. Yeah, that's and then he's just staying on it hard. Trying to get control of the car, just no braking, no whoopsie daisy. This was all, I'm just getting back on the track as fast as I possibly can.
Yeah, and it's just, that corner right before that incident happened, you had Conklin move Matheson out of the way, and Matheson finally just said, you know what? I'm not going to race that way. If you're going to race me like that, I'm going to race you the same. And they both end up where they're at now.
Well, after 150 laps, it can be hard to prevail. It can be hard to let cooler heads prevail, but you know who did prevail? And we're going to talk about that as we pull up the results for tonight's race. Garrett Maines. So let's break it down here, folks. The top 10 for you. Garrett Maines, Clayton Hoffman in second, Kevin King third, Nicholas Vroman fourth, Cody Terlindi fifth, Chris Wilhite sixth, Adam Benefield seventh, Jay Barberena eighth, third. I don't know why I said that. John Whitendorf, ninth, and Travis Beckner, 10th in your top 10.
And 11th place, we got Jacob Schneider. Decent. It's a shame to see him work his way back there after I picked him earlier, but man, good recovery. 12th, we got 14 Miller Blondes with 13th, Austin Fitzgerald. Tommy Gossett, 14th. Deserved a bit better than he got there, but that spin that was questionable really mess up a lot of guys' strategies here. 15th place, we're going to have Damon Burnett, followed by Trevor Perry, Pedro Oliveira. Nathan Biggert is going to be 18th. 19th is going to be Sean Conklin, with Jake Matheson rounding out your top 20.
Very good. And then to come around from 2021, Rob Carroll in 21st. Shane Parrish, 22nd. Paul Bergoli, 23rd.
Shane Kohlmeyer in 24th. Alan Pajari had a fantastic drive. Fell back a little bit toward the end. It looks like, but Alan Pajari there in 25th. Maggie McGuire 26th. Nolan Hodgson 27th. Thomas O'Hara 28th. Joshua Watson 29th. Our pole position. Joshua Watson fell back 28 places after an unfortunate start, and 30th place Jackson Anderson.
And once again, to highlight absolute heartbreak for Watson, but 31st place, you got John Swartz, which was the caution car of the race. 32nd is going to be Jose Acosta, with 33rd, Nicholas Padovich, Jason D. Maines at 34th, and Joseph Squared, unfortunately, rounds out top 35. Rounds out
Wow, I'm sorry, Joseph. That was on me. First time picking, and I had a big U. It was bad luck from the beginning. But we're going to take it over to Sheldon for a pair of post-race interviews. So, Sheldon, go ahead and take it away.
All right, come on, Sean. Let's take this away. All right, let's pull them up here. Hey, Clayton, you got your ears on?
Yes, hello.
Hey, man. Heck of a run, dude. One way to maximize on everything all night. I just want to get that out there. Getting yourself up there in second in spitting range of Garrett Maines. Talk me through your race a little bit, man. How'd it work out for you?
Qualified 10th. Knew I had to save gas, and I didn't want to give up too much track position in the front, so I used a little gas, a little tire, and then it was just cruising from there pretty much. You got to save it seemed like 3 laps of gas from going normal pace or something like that, so had to save a decent amount, so you just couldn't push, so it was just cruising really.
Yeah, so was there in those last couple laps in that battle with Maines, was there a certain instance where you felt like you could have absolutely had him, but we all have those things played back in our mind 100 times. Is there a moment you're going to have replaying about 20 times tonight before you go to bed?
Yeah, when I slid up and hit the wall off of 2, I hit it pretty good, and that just put so much heat in the right side tires it pretty much cost me. I wasn't at that moment going down the backstretch, I was more worried about just keeping my position than trying to battle for a win, but I just went hard enough to make sure I was able to get back to him, and tires held on, so just got a little lucky there. And then I got loose with 3 to go, I think, off of 2, and that just cost me my last chance to even try to make any sort of move or anything.
Oh man, you looked really good out there all night. You put on a good performance. Anybody you want to thank or shout out for this one?
Shout out Nitro Racing. I built a car there, so if you're looking for something different, I do all the A-car stuff for Nitro. Shout out to Timmy Pacioli for the awesome paint. Like I've said to him before, everybody's got to have their Jeff Gordon paint, or Jeff Gordon Flames paint, sorry, and this is mine, and I love it.
Oh man, you looked really good out there tonight. Let's see what you can build on next week. You have yourself a good night. Thanks for coming in and visiting us.
Thank you, guys.
And the man, the myth, the legend himself. God, you gotta let other people win these things, Garrett. How'd that thing work out for you, dude? I thought Roman had you for the longest time. And, obviously that caution really changed the tide of things.
Well, I don't know. There at the beginning of that run, I was starting to question, can these guys actually make the number? Because I was starting to reel them back in naturally on tires, but I'm sitting there fuel saving, and I'm thinking it's close. And then they peel off at 50. I'm like, oh, shoot, they can't make it. And then I'm still thinking, Roman's clearly not pitting at 50. We're going to go the distance. I'm going to have to find a way to reel him in on the second run because I've just committed to fuel saving. I'm just going to see if I can save more than him. And then he pitted at 62, and I'm like, the heck is the strategy? I'm lost. So I was able to make it to 75, coming to 76. And I thought that was going to be, spot on the money where I needed to be because I could easily go further. But at the beginning of the run, I wasn't full saving like I did the second time around. And that second time around, I think we had 25 to go, 20 to go when the caution came out, and they weren't even 15 seconds back. And I was maybe running, half a second slower, but that they needed 50 laps to catch me. It wasn't going to happen. So I don't know. I was frustrated to see that yellow. I thought from a points perspective, I was in a really good spot, but thankfully we were still able to come home with the win. I don't know if it really helped Roman or not. Like, I think he was going to pick up a lot of those spots anyway, but I was definitely a little bit upset with the fact we even got it, because I thought that was going to go green and fall right into our hands. But yeah, I mean, shoot, we had a phenomenal car tonight. Huge shout out to the guys at Ryco Performance for, you know, putting together a piece like they do every week. I mean, I'm actually up in Minnesota working for SimSeats. I built a sim rig. It's probably one of the nicest builds I've ever done, actually. But, you know, huge shout out to the Wigan family for letting me use the rig tonight, because I actually had to stay an extra day. So I was able to, you know, to run here, and then I got to fly out to California tomorrow morning first thing. So, you know, it's good to be able to get a stop in here and get a win.
Man, you've been absolutely busy then, from the sounds of it. I mean, you were talking about the caution earlier. I think there was only one guy in the field that really wanted to see that, to put it bluntly, and I think it was the one that went around. From
I
what
think
I've
you
read
might be right
and heard, and from watching it back from when I saw it, I'm not going to judge it, but yeah, I know how everybody feels about that one. Man, put on absolute clink there at the end of that thing, though, man. It was good to see. Any shout-outs we got this week? I'm sure you got about 20 or 30 now since I talked to you last.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, a huge shout-out to the Wigan family, again, for letting me use it. I mean, like I said, this is one of the nicest rigs that I've ever built, and to be able to drive on it in this race was really cool. I mean, top-tier equipment. This makes me want to spend money. But also a big thank you to the guys at Ryco, MCU Body, Linux, FGR Excel, the Left Court Brothers, and everybody that makes this happen every week. Excited for Chicago. I'll actually be racing live there on Tuesday, so hopefully I can figure it out. I will be on the road up until then, so see how that goes.
Oh, man, I forgot we got that coming up. You have fun with that, buddy.
I appreciate that.
Goodness. Well, good luck, man. Good luck moving forward, and thanks for coming up here and talking with us, and congrats on the win, dude. Good stuff.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good one, man.
Okay, everybody, that'll do it from us at GridVision. Sheldon, you got anybody you want to say thanks to or shout out tonight?
I just want to say thank you to you for keeping me inside my head long enough to call this thing. And, man, these guys really put on a show tonight. Clean just about 95% of this race. It was a great event, and it's been a blast sitting up here in the booth with you guys and talking about it. Even that Taylor Burris guy.
Yeah, that Taylor Burris guy, he is a real piece of work. Well, I've got to say pretty much the same thing. Thank you, Sheldon, for being here and spending a couple nights this week calling races with me. I look forward to the next time we get to do it again. I had fun calling this. I'm going to keep watching this series, even if I'm going to be subbing back out for Nick next week. So, for something Nick back in next week, I should say. I hope so. So let's go ahead and go on home. Thank you, everybody at home, for watching. From all of us here at GridVision, we hope you have a good rest of your night. Take care. Drive safe.
Thank you to all our viewers and all of our sponsors. Y'all have a great night. We out.